security company owner escapes death. Wet weather on PNG southern coast to continue. And Agriculture Secretary given until Thursday to respond.
This is the National EMTV News with Meribah Tulo.
A very good evening. Thank you for joining us for Sunday's news. An owner of a security firm is lucky to be alive today after what he described as an attempted assassination. Pacific corporate security owner Jacob Kaupa was shot at more than twice at Saraga in Port Moresby this week. A suspect is in custody as investigations continue.
The incident happened at the new upgraded National Highway at Saraga settlement. PCS owner Jacob Kaupa was returning from Mount Diamond at around 2 a.m. in the morning and was shot at by armed men. He says the style of attack was planned as the suspects had good cover and eyesight on the targeted vehicle.
I would like to accelerate our way. They've already into the process of firing, but fortunately it hasn't been fired. Twice they fired. I almost ran over them. They get to the site, and then I think they probably not cocked their guns. They were there and cocked it. And then they managed to release two, and then they hit my back.
The attempt assassin comes as a surprise for Mr. Kaupa, who has built a good relationship with the communities at Saraga. The incident has been condemned by Simbu community leaders in the city.
We don't like him, this level. Rubbish by stuff inside law. Settlement are carrying rubbish activity block. Police, you need to do some job. Pull up your socks. Go to this lab. Very settlement yellow with him. All this like corruption. All this like beginning was sleep inside the settlement and walking. This like an activity. Job play long go in now. House arrest now. Walking one of mess arrest now. So all get this line out.
Mr. Kaupa has reported the incident to police in NCD. Meanwhile, police have made arrest with a prime suspect in custody. Retired PNGDF Colonel and close friend Walter Inuma says the incident is not isolated.
The plug information or some just like information was deliberate. Attempt to life of Mr. Kaupa was deliberate. It is not an isolated incident.
Meanwhile, the PCS owner says the incident will not stop him from maintaining his relationship with the Saraga community. He says he will work closely with police and leaders to stop such criminal elements.
We will discourage this from happening in our community, and I would like to see that as much as possible we work around to make sure get these guys behind bars.
More than 5 shots were fired at Mr. Kaupa's vehicle. Jack Lapawe Jr., National EMTV News.
A tropical depression is forming south of Honiara and southeast of the Coral Sea. As a result, PNG has been experiencing heavy monsoon rains and floods are expected. In Port Moresby, the rains and strong winds, which continued from yesterday, caused great disruption to one community.
Last night, a big tree fell down due to the monsoon rains and strong winds. In the process of falling, it dragged all the power lines down with it. After many attempts of calling PNG Power, no one came to deal with this matter. This morning, the men in the community collected money to buy fuel to cut the tree and clear the road.
So now we're contributing 1K to kill. I am changing on a cutting the way. Los service must come the road. No good, you saw.
The fallen tree has blocked off the main road where the community commutes to and fro. Peter Tendeke was very concerned that someone could get electrocuted. He calls on PNG Power to respond and help this community as soon as possible.
Morning through the bomb score number. I'm risking a life because power run down long ground stop now. No good back sim awesome na mi play wedding PNG power no kadna mi play to help me chata na contribute money long where all free service by go up because men send up long all category stop again. So how much population also backside them no good or no rock saw na walk about na mi play tindin na contribute money na kadmi sladi wa em awesome mi play wedding PNG power em taso.
Meanwhile, Leo Hawari of PNG National Weather Service says the southern region of the country has just entered into the monsoon season. There is a tropical depression forming south of Honiara and southeast of the Coral Sea and is embedded in the monsoon trough.
Most area of concern will be the southern region. That's mainly of Central Province, Gulf, Western, and the Samurai, or Million Bay provinces.
The PNG National Weather Services issued a warning that all coastal regions will be experiencing strong winds. During this period, landslides and floods are to be expected. Lillian Kinea, National EMTV News.
Police in Port Moresby have saved a man from further beatings after he was accused of knocking a child over with his vehicle. The man was rescued when a drunk patrol led by NCD Task Force Unit Commander Mark Mosinakave arrived at the scene. It is alleged the community at Gerhus Stage 6 beat the man on Friday night. Police are yet to confirm if he has been charged.
The man was rescued when the task force team patrolled the Stage 6 residential area. He was lucky that police intervened and stopped further beatings, but he was bleeding when police apprehended him. It is alleged that this was the vehicle he was traveling in. Over 40 police officers took part in this patrol, which began after a brief at the Boroko police station. Areas patrolled included Waigani and stages 1 to 7 of Geru and Erima. At Geru Stage 1, the officers removed a group of men who were drinking just outside a liquor shop. Most of the men have escaped, but 3 were apprehended. The team continued patrolling Geru Stage 2, 3 and 5 suburbs. At Stage 4, they did a footbeat patrol, ensuring that all liquor-licensed shops were closed and no drunkards were on the road. The patrol was to ensure that Port Moresby residents were not drinking in public areas and check the illegal sale of alcohol at residential areas. The patrol ended with 5 arrests. There will be more of such patrol as Papua New Guinea prepares to host a series of meetings leading up to the APEC summit in November. The officers involved will be attending a training in preparations for APEC security operations. Thekla National EMTV News.
Meanwhile, 19 policemen in Port Moresby were recognized for the initiative to keep the Boroko police station clean. The officers were presented good work notices, a certificate to acknowledge their work during a recent police parade. These officers were encouraged to engage more with the community in the Boroko area.
For the last few weeks, if you look around Okari Street and around in front here, the street has been clean. Not that really clean, but at least better than last year. PSC, I'd like to commend your support unit under Senior Consul Mbatea. Well done for that.
You're with National EMTV News. We go for a break, and when we come back, more on the other side. Stay tuned. Welcome back to National EMTV News. An election petition seeking orders for a recount of the Hela governor's seat was dismissed by the National Court in Port Moresby. The application was filed by third runner-up Dr. Hewali Hamia against Hela Governor Philip Undialu and the Electoral Commission. It was filed on grounds that there were errors made by the Electoral Commission in relation to extra and illegal marking of ballot papers used in the election. However, the court was not satisfied that the material submitted to prove that there were errors made during the counting. Based on this, Justice Batari dismissed the application. This is the second election petition against Mr. Undialu, which has been dismissed. Agriculture and Livestock Secretary Dr. Velepat Ilaava has been given until Thursday this week to respond to allegations levelled against him. Agriculture and Livestock Minister Benny Allen made this known when addressing the media on issues surrounding allegations of mismanagement made against Dr. Ilaava. Within the last 2 weeks, there had been numerous media articles on allegations against Agriculture and Livestock Secretary Dr. Velepat Ilaava. Agriculture Minister Benny Allen, when addressing the media this week, acknowledged receiving a brief from the Public Service Minister regarding allegations levelled against his departmental secretary. According to Minister Allen, the process in investigating these allegations will go ahead once he receives a response from Secretary Dr. Ilaava. Dr. Ilaava has been given until Thursday, February the 1st, to respond.
I have to give the benefit to the Secretary to respond to those allegations. Once he responds to those allegations, then I will then forward those response to the Minister for Public Service. Then we'll look at the allegations and the seriousness of the allegations. And it is him who will decide whether an investigation will be carried out or not.
Minister Allen further emphasized Secretary Ilaava would remain in office during this time.
So it doesn't mean that he's suspended, no. He will still be at work as secretary until such time the investigation, if that is going to be any investigation, the minister will then advise me as to whether there is evidence of or some substance in the allegations that needs to be investigated. Then secretary will then be asked to step aside.
Dr. Ilaava, in acknowledging the allegations levelled against him, has dismissed speculations that there are divisions within the Agriculture and Livestock Department. He says he will be providing a detailed response to these allegations, whilst at the same time assuring the sector that it will be business as usual in 2018.
That have come out, and as ministers have stated, those are allegations. Those are allegations that have been raised. Minister has discussed these matters with me, the allegations with me, and he feels that it is in the best interest that I respond to those allegations, and I welcome that. I welcome that, and because the sector is too big, we have a very, very big task ahead of us, and so we need to start to deal with this, and like Minister said, put it to rest, and whatever happens after that, we take it on board and move on.
Chief Secretary to Government Isaac Lupari and Personal Management Secretary John Kali have been challenged to explain where money will be sourced from to increase teachers' salaries this year. Sinasina Yongomul MP Karenga Kua posed the challenge following the announcement that teachers' pay will increase in 2018.
Mr. Kua says there is no reflection of the increase set out in the 2018 national budget and wants the two secretaries to clearly state where the money will be sourced from. According to the budget speech delivered by Deputy Prime Minister Charles Abel in November last year, it is stated on page 19 that there will be a 3.2% reduction in wages for public servants. It also states that there will be a reduction in the gross domestic product from 6% to 4.5% between 2018 and 2022.
He said that we're going to see to a wage increase for the teachers.
Based on these statements, Mr. Kua says the announcement to increase teachers' pay by 3% is not catered for in the national budget.
Where are we going to find that money? Where was it provisioned for in the 2018 budget? This is the budget papers. See, this is the budget book. This is the appropriation bill for 2018. All the details are in there. And this is the budget speech. This is the budget speech that the Treasurer, Charles Abel, made. And he summarized the contents of these voluminous budget books.
Kua explains that if the government plans to increase teachers' salaries, it will either remove money from another sector or pass a supplementary budget to accommodate this change.
There is nowhere in these appropriation bills this year, provisioning for wages for the teachers and for the general public service missionary. That is the fact, that is the law as it stands right now. So what authority does Mr. John Kelly have to say he's going to increase the wages this year? What authority does Mr. Isaac Lupari have to say he's going to increase the public service wage bill this year? What authority do these two gentlemen have to say over and above the Parliament? The Parliament has already spoken. There is no wage increase expected this year leading up to 2022.
Last Tuesday, Personnel Management Secretary John Kelly announced an increase in salaries for teachers who resume duties for the 2018 academic year. This is in line with an agreement made in 2016 by PNG Teachers Association and Teachers Service Commission. In this agreement, 56,000 teachers in Papua New Guinea would see a 3% increase in their salaries in 2017, 2018 and 2019. There were no increase in 2017, but Secretary Kelly says the government has plans to back pay those eligible.
Challenging the leaders in government, I'm challenging the Treasurer and the Minister for Higher Education and Education to come out and clarify what they really mean by wage increases for the teachers.
Mr. Koa says there is need to clarify where that money will be sourced from. Classes for the 2018 academic year will commence tomorrow. Thekla Gunga, National EMTV News.
The East New Britain Tourism Authority has launched its first ever website in Kokopo, East New Britain. This now gives the potential to showcase tourism opportunities and products for the province. Chairman of East New Britain Tourism Authority, Douglas Piddy, officially launched the website.
It was a significant moment for the East New Britain Tourism Authority when they launched their new website on Wednesday in Kokopo. This groundbreaking ceremony now makes way for tourism sites and products of the province to be showcased to the world. This also gives tourists an opportunity to come and experience what the province has to offer, as it is one of PNG's leading tourist destinations. The Tourism Promotion Authority, in partnership with the East New Britain Provincial Government, funded the project into reality. The chairman of East New Britain Tourism Authority, Douglas Piddy, further emphasized on the importance of tourism before he officially launched the website.
Ladies and gentlemen, discover East New Britain Tourism website.
It will be promoting the tourism market in the province and also provide a platform for tour operators to help promote their products. Lillian Kinea, National EMTV News.
Here with National EMTV News, we'll have more stories when we come back. Stay tuned. Welcome back to National EMTV News. ECP Governor Alan Bird has maintained dialogue with affected islanders at Rup Rup and BM. After speaking to volcano experts, Governor Bird confirmed that the remaining Rup Rup and BM islanders will not be evacuated as there are no immediate threats. RVO experts say the situation at Cordova remains calm despite continuous ashfall and mudslides. Governor Bird also visited the care centre camp at Dandan. He assured the affected islanders that the provincial government will continue their support to their plight. The fire department in West New Britain province is yet to make a statement after fire gutted shops at the Kisere shopping centre. These images were posted on social media on Friday morning after the area was blocked off by authorities. Witnesses say the fire started at around 11 p.m. that night. The fire service managed to stop the fire from spreading. However, 4 shops were destroyed. The value of the damage is not yet known. Sources say no one was injured. However, police and the fire department will carry out the investigations this week. Turning overseas now, and in Australia, a mass overdose at a concert has ignited calls for mandatory and legal testing. 9 people were rushed to hospital and 1 remains in a critical condition after taking party pills.
They'd packed into Festival Hall along with thousands of others to see Dutch DJ Brennan Hart. But the 9 revellers became severely ill. Some almost stopped breathing after taking party pills.
We know it's multiple drugs. We believe PMA, paramethamphetamine, may have been one of them, but we're not sure, and Victoria Police are in the process of testing these drugs.
It's the latest in a series of mass overdoses in Australia. Earlier this month, 9 backpackers were struck down in Perth after snorting a white powder, thinking it was cocaine.
Tragically, we're responding to overdoses of illegal drugs on a daily basis.
The incident has renewed calls for pill testing at events. So far, only the ACT government has expressed support for a trial.
We need to stop relying on what we've always done because it's clearly not working anymore.
The Victorian Greens have drafted a bill to allow pill testing, but the government remains opposed to the idea.
What's been found in Europe is it actually decreased drug taking because people know what they're taking is incredibly dangerous or may kill them.
The Australian Medical Association says most doctors support the concept.
It's about properly orchestrated trials under supervision by government.
But some emergency services aren't convinced.
You can test it, but you're still just testing a poison. Just don't take it.
A politically divisive issue that's not going away.
An American casino mogul has resigned from the top role in the Republican Party after widespread allegations of sexual misconduct. Billionaire Steve Wynn, who was the party's finance chair, has denied the accusations.
Tonight, casino mogul Steve Wynn has stepped down as the finance chair for the Republican National Committee in the wake of sexual misconduct allegations.
Steve Wynn, would you stand up? He's raising so much money for our great Republican Party.
The fallout from a Wall Street Journal report that the 76-year-old billionaire, whom President Trump has called a good friend, allegedly pressured employees to perform sex acts over several decades. The Journal, reporting a 2005 incident, a manicurist at Wynn's Las Vegas resort alleged he forced her to have sex in his office suite, later paying her a $7.5 million settlement. Ex-Wynn salon manager Jorgen Nilsson told ABC News he saw employees cry, get sick, and have nervous breakdowns when Wynn requested them.
He was actually chasing one of the managers around and she locked herself in bed and it would not come up.
Wynn calling the allegations preposterous, saying we find ourselves in a world where people can make allegations regardless of the truth.
I'm Steve Wynn, and this is my new hotel.
Wynn's fortune worth an estimated $3.5 billion. His name prominent on the Vegas Strip, which he helped transform, building several casinos. Tonight, increasing calls for the Republican Party to return Wynn's donations. RNC chairwoman Ronna McDaniel vocal months ago when the Harvey Weinstein sexual misconduct allegations surfaced, tweeting, if the DNC truly stands up for women, then returning Weinstein's dirty money should be a no-brainer. The RNC silent about the money Wynn raised.
While United States President Donald Trump was promoting his America First vision in Davos, Switzerland, the press back in the States has interpreted his ending words at most news conferences. CNN's Gene Moss explains when thank you means get out.
That there's a nice way to say scram, demonstrated by the president in Davos, Switzerland.
But the money is on the table. Thank you very much.
Are you taking the money away now? Are you taking the money now?
We're heading out.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Guys, thank you. Remember when thank you?
Thank you all very much.
Was an expression of gratitude. Now it's more attitude.
Thank you all very much.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Translation, thank you. Get out. At a recent cabinet meeting.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Would you meet with Kim Jong-un?
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
It took President Trump 8 thank yous to get rid of the press, though sometimes when his own people are thanking everyone out, it's the president who can't stop answering.
Please exit. Thanks, everyone.
Did you talk to him?
Thank you, everyone.
No, I didn't, but I'm not at all concerned. Thank you all very much.
Thanks, everyone. Please exit.
In a second, you'll see a White House aide in black try to get the reporter in orange to button it.
Thank you all very much.
Thank
very
you.
proud
Mr.
of you.
President, are you concerned about what the Attorney General told the special counsel?
Please
no,
exit.
I'm not
Thanks,
at all
everyone.
concerned.
At one recent photo op, the president got fed up with thank yous.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Just Caucasian or white countries, sir, or do you want people to come in from other parts of the world where there are people of color?
Out, he told CNN's Jim Acosta. The worst is when you get your very own thank you with your name attached.
Thank you, Jeannie.
Thank you. Jim, thank you.
Sometimes it's a wonder they bother with the euphemistic thanks when the press is in the Oval Office endangering table lamps.
Whoa, hey.
Easy, fellas. Hey, fellas. Over here. Fellas, easy.
At least the press can't call this job thankless.
You guys are getting worse.
Thanks.
Thank you all very much.
And that's it. Trukai Sports is up next. We'll have the details when we come back. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. We begin with the National Soccer League and competition giants Toti City Dwellers and Madang FC faced off in round 3 yesterday in Leh. Defending champions, the Dwellers proved to still be the better side, defeating Madang 7-2. The Dwellers will play Momase while look to making a comeback against Buang FC in the next round next weekend. To tennis now, and 17-year-old PNG-born Violet Apisa, who paired up with Switzerland's Lulu Radovcic, has made history when she made it into the finals of the Australian Open Juniors Women's Doubles. The duo won all 5 of their matches since Monday until the grand final yesterday, when their Asian opponents Taiwan's Liang and China's Zi Wang took out the title, winning 2-1. Still in tennis, after years of battling her way and almost retiring, Caroline Wozniacki has won her first Grand Slam tennis title at the Australian Open. After dethroning the current world number 1 in the final, Wozniacki returning to the top of the rankings 6 years after she last competed.
After 10 years of frustration and heartache and nearly 50 Grand Slam tournaments, finally Caroline Wozniacki is a champion. Not only has the 27-year-old silenced the doubters, she's also broken the record for time between holding the number 1 ranking, exactly 6 years. Just 18 months ago, Wozniacki had plummeted into the 70s.
I've dreamt of this moment for so many years, and to be here today, it's a dream come true, and my voice is shaking. I never cry, but today it's a very emotional moment.
After leading top seed Simona Halep 4-1, Wozniacki needed a tie-break to take the first set. Despite being played at night, it was close to 40 degrees with high humidity. Halep needed treatment second set with blood pressure issues, but then somehow reeled off 4 of the last 5 games. After 20 shot rallies became the norm, the players used the heat rule for a 10-minute break at 1 set all. More drama, final set, Wozniacki down a break of serve. She sought treatment for a knee injury. Spurred on in the final 3 games, this remarkable rally, the second to last point, both players out on their feet after 3 hours. Moments later, Wozniacki finally had her victory, 20 years in the making.
Just waiting for the question, when are you going to win the second one? So right now, I'm just happy I have this one, and I'm going to really enjoy this moment.
And no one would deny Caroline Wozniacki her time to shine.
And don't go away, we'll have more of Trukai Sports after these messages.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. The main aim for PNG Powerlifting Association this year is to select the best to represent the country at the World Championships in Canada. This, according to PNG Powerlifting coach and manager Phil Priestley. In an interview with EMTV Sports, Priestley said their athletes are back at training.
After a 30-medal haul at last year's Oceania and Pacific Invitational in Singapore, PNG's powerlifting athletes in the country are now back at training. And with the World Champions only 4 months away, coach Phil Priestley says selections for this year will be based on the individual athlete's commitment to training.
What we're trying to do is by getting them training on a regular basis, that they will show that they are the best, but they have to prove it. It's not going to be, a free ride overseas. They have to show that they are worth that ticket to go.
He says selections for the championships will come from 2 national events.
You've got to get them in the right frame of mind. They've got to be, on that day, they've got to have no other issues except focus on the weight they're going to lift. And they've got to go for it. Like any sport, it's practice, 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 and then bang. And we're hoping this year that we can make inroads into the World Championships.
Priestley adds that the aim for powerlifting in the near future is to have a PNG world champion, as the country has what it takes to produce a world champion.
Those of us that are involved in it are very proud to be a part of Team PNG, but we wouldn't be there if it wasn't for the athletes, and they are our main concern. So for us to push them to the extreme within their capabilities is something that we have to do this year. We want to be able to go on the world stage and show people just where PNG is.
Godwin Eki, National EMTV Sports.
To rugby, and New Zealand's Rugby Sevens teams have been outclassed today by Australia at the Sydney Sevens. Firstly, the men were run down 24-12 in the quarter-final as a super sub made a big impact.
Gives it to Longbottom. There's the dancing feet. Morris Longbottom. Impact off the bench for the corner. You little beauty.
Then the New Zealand women, who'd impressed on their run into the final, were completely blown away by the Olympic champions 31-0. Australia scoring 213 points in the 6 games in Sydney and conceding 0. It was the last women's tournament before the Commonwealth Games in April.
And that's it for Trukai Sports. We go for a break, and when we come back, the weather details for the next 24 hours.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
A look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours in the southern region. Port Moresby, monsoon rain with moderate to strong northwesterly winds expected. Daru and Kerma, rain and showers with monsoon rain and moderate to strong northwesterly winds as well. And Alota and Popondetta, monsoon rain with moderate northwesterly winds expected over the next 24 hours. To the Momasa region, Lake can expect some rain, some heavy rain in Wau. Rain and showers expected as well for Madang, Wewak and Vanimo. To the New Guinea Islands region, Lorengau, Kavia, Kokopo, Rabaul, Kimbe and Buka, all these major centres can expect some rain and showers with moderate to strong northwesterly winds over the next 24 hours. And in the Highlands region, some monsoonal rain expected in Mount Hagen, rain expected as well in Goroka, Kundiawa, Mendi and Wabeg over the next 24 hours. To a look at the forecast for small ships for the next 24 hours, but first there is a strong wind warning current for all coastal waters of Papua New Guinea. Gale wind warning current for all waters of the southern PNG Indonesian border, Torres Strait and Daru Kiwai Island to Kerma, to Yule Island, to Hood Point, to all Milne Bay Islands including Finchafen, to Vidya Strait, CSE Island to Long Island and Madang, also to New Britain and New Island and Bougainville. Waters of southern PNG Indonesian border through Torres Strait and Daru to Kiwai Island to Kerma, Yule Island, Hood Point to Samarai Island, seas 2.5 to 3.5 meters. Waters of Samarai Island to Cape Vogel to Finchafen, seas 2.5 to 3 meters. Waters of Finchafen to Vityas and Dampier Strait to Siasi Islands to Long Island to Madang, seas 2.5 to 3.5 meters. Waters of Medang to Bogia, Wewak, Aitape, Vanimo and the northern PNG-Indonesian border sees 2.5 to 3 meters. Waters of Manus and its western group of islands sees 2.5 to 3 meters. And waters of New Ireland to New Britain and Bougainville sees 2.5 to 3.5 meters. Look at the ocean forecast for PNG areas. Coral Sea sees rough to very rough with southwest to northwesterly winds at 34 to 48 knots. Solomon Sea sees rough to very rough as well with northwesterly winds at 34 to 48 knots. Bismarck Sea sees rough to very rough with northwesterly winds at 34 to 48 knots. And the Pacific Ocean sees slight to moderate with northeast to northwesterly winds at 15 to 20 knots.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield, with doing with Dulux.
And before we go, public schools are expected to resume tomorrow for the 2018 academic year. While parents have been busy sorting out student registration, most teachers are preparing for the start of this new school year.
And it's the time of the year again when students from kindergarten to grade 12 return and begin their academic year. Ward Street Primary School in Port Moresby is one of the largest primary schools with 3,000 plus students from grades 3 to 8.
School enrollments. Well, I'm hoping to have another 3,300, but not more than 3,300. With my last month enrollments, I've gone down to 3,200 over. So I'm not hoping to go beyond that. We, as much as possible, are trying to control new transference.
Teachers resumed last Monday and have been preparing for the huge task ahead. Their ratio of teacher to student is 1 to 60 and sometimes 70.
Our normal ratio, usual ratio is 1:45. Unfortunately, in Ward Street, we go beyond. You're looking at about 2 classes in one class. Highest numbers, I have about 3 to 4 classes in this school is ranging 80. And the rest are ranging from 60 to 75, 79, around there. It's a very overcrowded school.
Quality over quantity has been an ongoing debate, but last year grade 8 students did tremendously well, with most securing a grade 9 spot at a secondary school.
We scored full marks in maths. We scored 50. The second highest was 48, which was also very high. And a good number of children scored around 40. But on the whole, the students did very well.
While the headmistress refused to comment on camera on TFF funding, she said the school budgeted and did what they could with the funding. Meanwhile, Port Moresby National High School is not sacrificing quality for quantity and only accepts transfers who have genuine cases.
Yeah, we look at grade 12. Grade 12, our policy is not to transfer any student in because of the ongoing assessments that any student who comes from another outside school cannot carry the assessment in that school to permanent to add on. That does not work. So it will very much decide whether it's the student coming in. But grade 11, any student who is to be transferred must be on a very genuine case, like a student living in Gereu but had been selected to go down to Kila. And then it's a little bit not fair for that student to travel all the way to Kila bus for every day back and forth, so we look at those cases. So any parents who is on job transfer, we look at those.
TFF funding since its conception in 2012 have had some challenges over non-payment of TFFs on time and to the amount expected. The O'Neill Able government will now be looking into addressing these issues through a 200 million Kina quality education program in 2019, where it is set to change the whole structure of the education system. Harry Gimbari, National and TV News.
And to end the news, a look at our top stories this evening. An attempted assassination of security firm owner in Port Moresby. 3 men still missing at sea after the boat capsized between Madang and West New Britain. And Weather Office says PNG is experiencing heavy monsoon rains. And that's how we end National EMTV News today, Sunday, the 28th of January 2018. On behalf of the EMTV News team, have a pleasant working week. Good night.